Very busy day for you and all ministers today, so we do appreciate your time. So our next commencement is Senator Byrne. Senator Byrne, you have 4 minutes.
Minister, I appreciate it is a busy day in the Department of Finance, and I particularly appreciate you coming to take this matter. And you will recall, in fact, earlier this year in June and July, we were dealing with the issue of a boil water notice in Ferns, County Wexford, that impacted on over 1,700 people. And I do want to put on the record my thanks to you personally, even though it's not your department, for raising a number of the issues with Ishgaren at the time to ensure that the people of Ferns got access to adequate drinking water. But it does point to our creaking water infrastructure. And the issue I want to raise today is around the importance of the wastewater treatment system that we have within the country, and the concern again for that area, Ferns and the neighbouring community of Camolan. Those areas cannot expand because of the lack of wastewater capacity. Wexford County Council have indicated that the development of a wastewater treatment plant at Ferns is a priority. The intention is to be able to pump some of the wastewater from Camolan to Ferns to allow those communities to grow. Uisce Éireann told us about a year ago that it will be at least 5 years before this is addressed. And one of the problems that I have here is that we've been hearing this for over 20 years in the North Wexford community about how Ferns and Camolan will be addressed. In fact, the late independent councillor Declan McPartlin used to champion this right back in the noughties when he was told it would be part of a village bundle. Our challenge within the Gorey local electoral area is that in the inter-census period 2016 to 2022, we saw a 14% increase in population. It's one of the highest rates of increase of any local electoral area in the country. That has put enormous pressure, obviously, on Gorey Town, which does have capacity, but it has stymied development in a lot of the nearby villages simply because they don't have the necessary water capacity. And on Uisce Éireann's own list of wastewater treatment plants, those that they indicate are red, in other words, that there is no further available capacity in and around the Gorey area. They include Ballycanoe, Camolan, Coolgraney, Ballymoney, Boulavogue, Kylenearn, Monamelin, all of the villages within the community. And at the same time, we have restrictions on the number of rural dwellings that are allowed to be constructed. So if we're not going to allow people to build in the country areas, then we have to try to encourage them to at least to live in their nearby villages. But if we don't have the necessary wastewater capacity, that can't be done. And that's forcing people into our towns and other major urban areas. And Ferns and Camolan have been crying out for this to be addressed, as I said, for over 20 years, but we're not getting it being prioritised by Uisce Éireann. This government's top priority, as you're aware, is addressing housing, and we have made significant progress. I am hoping in the budget today, as part of the surplus, that we will see significant investment in Uisce Éireann to address the deficits in terms of our water infrastructure, but in particular for those villages, in order to be able to allow them to expand, in order for them to have housing built that we all need, particularly in our rural communities, the wastewater treatment plant issue needs to be addressed. So I would hope, Minister, in the same way that you have been very helpful in the past on a number of issues, that we can apply the pressure to Uisce Éireann again to address the problem of the wastewater treatment plant serving Ferns and Camolan.
Thank you very much, Senator Byrne. Minister.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for raising this again. It's not by any means the first or second time that you've raised it in this House, and you're representing your constituents most ably to try to advance this, which is, of course, entirely what they are entitled to. You are already aware that the Water Services Act sets out the arrangements for the delivery of water and wastewater services by Uisce Éireann, and you are also aware that the Minister doesn't have function in relation to the operational matters in relation to Uisce Éireann. However, of course, it's better to just get to the point and be efficient. The department has made inquiries on this occasion with Uisce Éireann on the Senator's behalf in advance of him raising of my response to him, which is very welcome. And the department has been informed that Ferns is included on the priority action list of Uisce Éireann, which I suspect the Senator from his face has heard before. And Uisce Éireann is committed to undertaking feasibility study reports for all of their priority action list areas. The Stage 1 strategic assessment for the Ferns wastewater treatment plant commenced in 2023, as the Senator is no doubt aware, to determine its specific challenges and to find suitable solutions, including cost estimation, which may include upgrades to the plant. Of course, it's important to note that all plans are contingent on obtaining relevant statutory consents. The Stage 2 preliminary business case assessment is ongoing and includes Uisce Éireann undertaking detailed analysis, developing a short list of solutions and finding the preferred option from the short list of projects. The stage also includes estimating the total cost of the project before progressing to Stage 3 and 4, final business cases, and commissioning of works, as the next capital investment period, 2025 to 2029, is subject to the investment plan submission statutory process with the Commission of Regulation for Utilities. It is not possible to give concrete commitments on capital expenditure for 2024 projects not currently at construction stage. I would say, however, I think the most important point that the Senator has raised, if I may say, is the population increase in his area, and that must be supported by infrastructure development, and highlights today that, of course, today is budget day and that there is significant surplus in the budget, which, in my view, must be invested into infrastructure development. And here is a perfect example of completely necessary infrastructure development. So I hope that we will see in the budget today very significant capital allocated to entities like Uisce Éireann. But of course, what we all know as public representatives, that while we might assign capital expenditure to different projects, that doesn't mean that they get done efficiently, professionally, on time, within budget, and in a strategic and coordinated way. And so I would say that it's becoming even more important that we have a centralised, dedicated Department of Infrastructure to be able to manage the delivery of these different projects, because they can be too ad hoc. You have also highlighted the importance of housing, and the interconnects between housing delivery, local authorities, and Uisce Éireann is something of frustration, I think, to many members of these houses to see that they are done in a strategic and coordinated way. And I'm hoping that between capital investment and a better strategic focus on delivery, we can deliver for your constituents and everybody else's.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Byrne.
Thank you, Minister, and for outlining the process. I've come to learn from responses that when I hear from a state agency that something is a priority, that tends to mean sometime in the next 5 years. If I'm told it's an urgent priority, it might be within 2 years, and an imminent priority is sometime within 12 months. And I do appreciate and understand the process as you've outlined. But if we are to achieve our objective of delivering houses for people within communities near where they want to live, we've got to ensure that the water and wastewater infrastructure is in place. I'm certainly hoping that we will see a significant announcement as part of the budget today of investment in Uisce Éireann, but it is important that Uisce Éireann spends that money efficiently and effectively, and that we see a resolution for communities like those that I mentioned. I believe passionately that people should be able to live in the villages, in the communities where they've grown up and where they work, but if we don't supply the water and wastewater infrastructure, that's not going to be possible.
Senator Byrne, Minister.
Well, I could not agree with the Senator more, and I am told that the Department has secured record overall funding of €1.81 billion for the delivery of water services in 2024. But as you say, it has to actually happen, has to be delivered, and has to be done efficiently. I am also told that Uisce Éireann has established a dedicated team to deal with representations and queries from public representatives, though this note does not say when that was established, and I don't myself recall. The team can be contacted via email or by a dedicated number, which I will provide to the Senator. I suspect he already knows it. And really, at this, it's interesting that I myself have dealt with this issue with you on at least 2 occasions, and that yet it is not resolved. So.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you, Senator Byrne. Our next commencement is Senator Wall.